What does innovation mean to me? Well, I think there are many kinds of innovation. You have to be innovative to solve complicated scientific problems. It takes a certain kind of creativity to find solutions that are different than everyone else has found. Maybe there has to be a better solution than people have discovered so far. When you're innovating in art, there's the added problem of figuring out what's the question, not just what's the answer. What can I do that's not only different, but different in a way that humans will appreciate? And then people argue about whether this is really art, whether this is beautiful, whether it's ugly. You know, all the radical innovations on the artistic side are controversial. And sometimes on the technological side, everyone can say, oh, that's a better solution, you know, we'll build our bridges this way from now on. So I think it's harder to do artistic innovation than engineering innovation, but then sometimes our problems are a little more complicated. So. In my career, computers have become 1,000,000 times stronger than they were originally, and that's been amazing. So the whole rise of computer technology over the last 40 or 50 years has just been doubling every 2 years. And no technology in the history of mankind has become that much better that quickly. And so there are things I can do now that would have been unthinkable when I started out in studying artificial intelligence. I made up some approaches that were interesting but could not be implemented. And now I can go to the electronics store and I can buy a machine that does exactly what I wanted. So for me, the whole rise of computer technology, the integrated circuit chips, the memory, the doubling every 1 or 2 years of the power of the machines has just been amazing. If you look at a cell phone, a smartphone like an iPhone or an Android, the idea that you can have this thing in your pocket, let alone a beautiful display, the ability to talk to anyone in the world, that was unthinkable. When I was in college, there was this show Star Trek. I think maybe people in Italy have seen some version of this. And they had these communicators, and they could open this thing up and they could talk to the spaceship. And that was amazing, but those were clunky. Those weren't as good as my cell phone. And this was the future in you know, 2300 or something that they were imagining. And here today we have something much better. You can look at photos, you can send video to people. So I think the whole rise, it's not just one thing, it's many inventions, but the whole rise of computer technology for me has been the exciting innovation in my career. There's progress behind the scenes that people never see, and they see the effects of it. The creation of GPS is an example. The ability to navigate anywhere on Earth and know where you are with it. It's finally available to everybody, but even before that, they could use this in ships and they could use this for navigation, and it was very important for those people. They weren't wrecking their ships on reefs and so on. They knew where they were. And it's more valuable when it becomes available to everyone. But I think even if people couldn't carry this in their pockets, it's still a valuable innovation. So things that become available to people are more appreciated, but I think there's real innovation behind the scenes that may be 20 years before the general public has it. You can be amazed every day just by normal things. I do a little bit of photography, and that's helped me to see things, I think. Oh, that would be a good photo. Oh, look how beautiful that is. You know, and before I was taking photos, I never saw that stuff. In many ways it has. There are some amazing pieces of art that are generated by computer. Not necessarily the computer doing the creative stuff, but the computer being able to take a photograph and enhance it in interesting ways. If it's a wonderful photograph, but the sky is boring that day, you can put in clouds. So in many ways it has enhanced human creativity. It's a tool. It's like when they discovered better paints, in the Renaissance, and they could make brighter paintings, and I think the digital age has enhanced that. I don't think yet we're seeing much in the way of real creativity coming out of the computers. Those of us in artificial intelligence are working on what that would take. And there's creativity to solve problems, and again, there's creativity to please people. It's harder for a computer to figure out how to please people because it's not a person. It hasn't had the same experiences. I think it allows us to see many cultures. We have much more ability to understand what Indian culture is like and see examples of it, or Chinese or Japanese culture. Even if we can't travel there, we can all see that stuff online and see examples of it. And many of the artistic movements through the centuries have been when the French discovered Japanese art, for example. And now that's happening at a much greater rate. So I think that's an interesting development.